Welcome to Drift Off and Discover, your calm place to unwind. As we explore history tonight, we're slowing down with something beautifully ordinary, something that waits quietly on the edge of the sink or rests patiently beside the bath. Something you've held in your hands thousands of times without ever really noticing it. A simple bar of soap. It's small, it's humble, it's familiar, and yet its story stretches across thousands of years, across continents, across cultures, and into the quiet corners of our daily lives. So settle in. Let your breathing soften, let your shoulders drop, and allow this gentle journey to guide you toward rest, because tonight we're drifting off with the history of soap. Long before the first bar of soap existed, people still needed ways to feel clean, but the world looked very different. There were no shampoos, scented bars, or foaming hand wash. In ancient Mesopotamia, people scrubbed with clay and sand, gritty but effective. A handful of earth mixed with water became a simple grounding cleanser. In Egypt, oils were massaged into the skin and scraped away with curved bronze strigils. Picture the warm glow of oil lamps, the soft murmur of voices, the gentle scrape lifting dust and sweat. In ancient Rome, bathhouses became social hubs where people washed, talked, and unwound. Olive oil was rubbed on the skin and scraped away, leaving the body smooth and refreshed. These early rituals weren't just about hygiene, they were moments of care, pause, and connection. Soap, as we know it, had not yet arrived, but the desire for comfort and cleanliness was already deeply rooted. The earliest true soaps appeared thousands of years ago, and like many great discoveries, they began by accident. Imagine a cooking fire burning in a clay hearth, animal fats dripping from roasting meat, ashes settling beneath the flames, rain falling, mixing everything together. When fat and ash combined, something strange formed, a slippery, slightly foamy substance that behaved differently in water. Someone, we'll never know who, noticed that this mixture lifted dirt from fabric and skin. It softened wool, it cleaned hands, it made water behave in a new way. This discovery spread slowly, carried by traders and travelers. Babylonians made thick, paste-like soaps. Egyptians created oily mixtures scented with herbs. The Gauls, in what is now France, made soap from animal fats and beechwood ash. These early soaps were rustic, uneven, scented with smoke and earth, but they worked. And that was enough. As centuries passed, soap making evolved from a lucky accident into a true craft. In the Mediterranean, olive oil became the prized ingredient, creating gentle, creamy bars that lathered softly and carried the scent of herbs. In Northern Europe, where olives were scarce, soap makers relied on animal fats, producing firmer, long-lasting soap suited to colder climates. In the Middle East, fragrant oils like lavender, rose, and laurel were added, leaving scents that lingered on the skin. By the Middle Ages, cities such as Marseille, Aleppo, and Castile became famous for their distinctive soaps, each shaped by local traditions passed down through generations. Soap making grew into a respected trade, part chemistry, part craftsmanship, part quiet magic. Picture a small workshop, wooden vats bubbling gently, long paddles stirring thick mixtures, and the warm, comforting scent of oils filling the air. Soap was no longer an accident. It had become an art. At the heart of every bar of soap is a simple but beautiful process, saponification. It begins with oils, coconut, palm, olive, shea, cocoa butter, or tallow. Each one brings its own personality. Coconut oil creates a rich, bubbly lather. Olive oil makes a bar gentle and creamy. Shea butter adds softness and nourishment. Palm oil gives firmness and longevity. These oils are warmed and blended, then introduced to a carefully measured alkaline solution. This is the moment of transformation, the moment when fats break apart and reform into something entirely new. The mixture thickens and warms until, eventually, it becomes a smooth, velvety batter. It is then poured into molds, where it rests quietly for hours. Once the soap has solidified, it's cut into bars which are soft at first, like firm cheese. These fresh bars are placed on racks, spaced apart so air can move around them. And then they wait. For weeks, sometimes longer, as the bars slowly cure, the moisture evaporates and the edges harden and scents mellow and deepen. If you've ever held a handmade bar of soap, you might notice this quiet maturity, a firmness that comes only with time. There's something soothing about that patience. In a world that moves quickly, a bar of soap insists on taking its time. Soap makers often add gentle touches to their creations. A swirl of colour, hint of lavender or eucalyptus, a design pressed into the surface, sprinkle of dried flowers or herbs. Even the simplest bar, plain, uncoloured, unscented, has its own quiet beauty. Run your fingers over a bar of soap and you'll feel a smoothness that's almost stone-like, yet warmer, softer. The soap surface holds the memory of the mould it rested in. Tiny air bubbles create subtle textures, edges round off with use, becoming more comfortable in the hand. Each bar is unique, shaped by the ingredients, the mould, the curing time, and the person who made it. The moment a bar of soap meets water, something gentle happens. The surface softens, a thin layer dissolves, and the first bubbles appear. Lather is a small, everyday magic, a transformation from solid to foam. It carries warmth, scent, and softness across the skin. Notice how a bar of soap feels when it's wet, silky, slick, almost weightless for a moment, and then as it dries, it returns to its quiet solidity, ready for the next use. Soap is woven into the rhythm of everyday life. A morning shower, warm and bright, a quiet hand wash before a meal, a long bath at the end of a tiring day. Each moment is small, but meaningful. Soap becomes part of the soundtrack of home, the soft splash of water, the gentle squeak of clean skin, the faint scent that lingers in the air. It is a companion to routines that ground us, the rituals that mark the beginning and end of each day. With each wash, the bar changes. Corners soften, edges round. The surface becomes smoother, then thinner. It fits more comfortably in the hand as days pass. A bar of soap doesn't resist this change. It simply gives itself away little by little, fulfilling its purpose with quiet generosity. There's something comforting in that gentle erosion. A reminder that usefulness can be soft, steady, and unhurried. Eventually, the bar becomes a thin, delicate sliver. Light passes through it when held up. It bends slightly under pressure. Some people press the sliver onto a new bar, merging old with new. Others let it dissolve in a soap dish, becoming part of the next lather. Some save the last pieces in a small bag, letting them live on together. Even in its final moments, soap remains helpful, gentle, and humble. Soap isn't just practical, it's symbolic. In many cultures, soap represents renewal, the washing away of the old to make space for the new. It's part of rituals, ceremonies, and traditions. In Victorian times, scented soaps were luxurious gifts. In the early 20th century, soap advertisements shaped ideas of cleanliness and modern living. During global health crises, soap became a symbol of protection, a simple tool with extraordinary power. And in everyday life, soap marks transitions. washing hands after work, cleaning up after a long day. It's a quiet companion to the moments that help us reset. Today, soap continues to evolve. Artisan makers craft small batch bars with botanical ingredients. Scientists develop formulas that are gentle on skin and kind to the environment. Designers create bars that look like tiny sculptures. Some are swirled, marbled, layered, or stamped. But at its heart, soap remains simple, a blend of oils and alkali, a transformation through time, a tool for comfort, cleanliness, and care. So the next time you see a bar of soap resting by the sink, you might notice it differently. A small object with a long history, a quiet companion to daily rituals, a patient creation shaped by time, craft, and care. As you drift towards sleep, let the simplicity of its story settle your mind. Let the slow, steady transformation of a bar of soap remind you that life doesn't need to be rushed, that softness and patience have their own kind of strength. Thank you for drifting off and discovering with me tonight. May your rest be gentle and your dreams calm and clean, like the first lather of a brand new bar of soap. Good night. Thank you so much for sharing this quiet moment with me. If you'd like more bedtime stories like this, then please subscribe now. And if there's a topic you'd love to hear as you drift off, let me know in the comments. Sleep well and be safe.